Hi, I'm doing Paul McWhorter's Pico W lessons, and I'm up to lesson number 98, which is all about moving servos, and Paul wanted us to be able to move 2 servos or more independently of each other. Now, hopefully this video will cover lessons 100, 101, 102, who knows, because I'm using a class. So we'll look at the hardware first of all. I've just got 2 normal servos, which aren't very stuck down very well. 2 normal servos, and I didn't have another normal one, so this is a kind of pan tilt one. I'm only using the pan bit, not the tilt, partly because I can only connect up 3 potentiometers. 1, 2, 3, 1 for each. Now, apologies for all this haywire whatever, but if you think that's confusing, you wait for my explanation of what I'm doing. Now we'll look at the first program, which is the simplest, and this is just controlling the position of the potentiometer, the position of the servo with a potentiometer. So ignore that to begin with. I'm setting up an array of the servos, and then I'm doing setting up servos for 18, 19 and 20. So up here what it does is it creates an object, a servo object, using that pin, and it uses the state machine usage. More about that later. You can see what happens with it in the servo class. Then it's appending that servo object into the array of servos, and then this is where the state machine usage gets used. It is keeping track of which state machines have been used and how many instructions there are in them. This will become a little bit clearer later. Then I've got an array of the potentiometers, and I'm setting them up as in here, which is all I'm doing an ADC of the pin number, and I'm appending it to the array of potentiometers. That I'm just printing out the details of all the servos because I can, and the while true loop is just looking at all the potentiometers and saying, right, I need to adjust the position of the servo for that. So it's going for potentiometer 012, 012, and then it's moving the servo 012. The move with top pot is what it's doing. It just is getting the pot value, and it's calculating the angle that you want to send to it, and then it's using the method on the servo class for the relevant servo to set the angle. Then it's got a weenie sleep there, just in case the potentiometer blows up, who knows. Don't want to overwork the poor old boys. And then if you press Control C, it just turns the servos, the state machines off, deactivates the state machines. Right, this is a bit more complicated. That state machine usage array is not in the class. I just put it in the same file to make the imports easier. But what it is it is an array of 8 integers, and each one, like the first one is for state machine 1, second state machine 2, etc, etc, etc. And if the entry for state machine is 0, it means that that state machine hasn't been used yet. But if it's got a number in it, it will contain the number of instructions for the state machine, for that state machine. it will become obvious what I'm doing in a minute. So in the dund init, I'm just taking the pin number and I'm passing in the state machine usage array there. And I come down here, and initially for this servo object I am setting the state machine number to -1, so I can tell whether I actually found one. So I am looking at the first PIO block, which is state machines 0, 1, 2 and 3. I'm adding all of the instructions for all of them, and then I'm adding the number of instructions in this state machine, and if it's less than 32, there is room in that PIO block to use the state machine, if you get my drift. Now, the number of instructions for this class is 7. I had to calculate that because MicroPython is interpreted rather than compiled. If I was using C++, it would be able to tell me. But so what I had to do was count the number of instructions and hard code it in up there. If I put in another instruction, of course that would have to go up, and if I didn't remember to add to that, you know, to make it the right number of instructions, everything would go horrible, or would have the potential of going horribly wrong. So back to here. So it says, hello, we do have room to add another state machine, to use another state machine even in that first PIO block. And so we're going through and we're going for the state machine 0, are you being used? If it isn't, I say, okay, I'm using that state machine. So I'm setting state machine to 0 if it was the first one, or if, you know, 0, 1, 2, until it finds one. Then it says if there wasn't room in the first state machine, I'm going to do the second, check the second, not the first state machine. If there wasn't room in the first PIO block for that state machine, I need to check the second PIO block. So again, it's adding up the number of instructions in that PIO block, adding on the number that I want to add, and if it's less than equal to 32, that's okay. So it goes through and it says, can I use state machine 4, 5, 6, 7? And the first one that it can use, it says, okay, that's what I'm using. But if all of the state machines were used, that self._ state machine num would still be -1, and if it is still -1, everything needs to just fall over because nothing can work. So that is just raising the exception, and hopefully that ought to help whoever's running it to see what's happening. So we've set up, we've found the state machine number. Now we're just setting up the state machine with the right state machine number, the fact that I'm using excuse me, that block of code for that pin number. That's the initial things for setting things up. Dunder string just means that if you go print servo object, it will tell you all about it. And that is just saying in there, when it goes servos blah blah set servo angle, it's passing in the angle, and all it does is it sets the angle, that servo to the right position for that angle. Now that property decorator is so that people can't mess. Well, they can if they want to, but if you have something with an underscore, it's a warning. Do not mess with that variable. Do not mess with that variable. So as I need to use it in the main program, I'm setting it so you can treat that like a variable. Even though it's a kind of method, it turns itself into a variable. I've done that before. And then I'm not using any of those, and that's just to deactivate the state machine if I go off. Now I did miss something here. When finding out which state machine I can use, I was updating the array, but I realized I didn't want to do that. I've left that in there. I was going to be passing the state machine usage array out, and I don't think you can actually pass something out of the init function, so I thought I would do it outside. So we go back to, this is taking forever, I'm very sorry. We'll go back to the lesson, and what it says is you set up servo there, as I explained, and then you go to the state machine usage array and you set for the state machine that you've just created, no, the state machine being used by the servo that you've just created, you put in the number of instructions, and that ought to take care of everything. Phew. So we'll try running this and see whether it actually works. Something worked there. Right. We will turn one servo. I don't know which. Oh, yep, that's that one. It seems to be working fine. And this one. Oh, that's. Oh, he looks like the navigator in the Flight of the Navigator. And then this one. Yep, they all seem to be working. And we'll try and see if we can move two at once. Yeah, you can use two at once. Wonderful. Control C. Next program. Oh, I forgot to say. It actually, when you go print servo, it tells you what pin number, what state machine, and that's to do with sweeping, which we're coming on to now. So it does it 1, 2, 3. Oh, I will just show you one thing. No, I won't show it to you now because it will mess up my program. Right, we'll go on to the next one. The next one is when you're actually setting up to sweep. So as before, I've set up servos, I set up the potentiometers, even though I didn't need to because I forgot to take it out. Then I've set up a sweep delay, which is the delay in milliseconds, microseconds, well, whatever, yeah, in milliseconds of how long you wait before you then move it again. And again, I'm doing the servos, printing the details. Now, for each servo, I'm starting a generator. I did this in lesson number 98, but only for one servo. So what it does is it goes to sweep angles. Sweep angles is like a for angle in range, blah blah blah. So in a for loop, but this is a generator, so it isn't a loop, which is great. I mean, I've explained all this before, so that is just setting up the generator. And down here in the while true loop, it says what the time is, and then for every servo in the servo array, you check to see whether you need to move it. What was it called? Sweep. Sweep. Right, so sweep. So it says, hello, is it time to move the servo? If it is, I set the servo to the next value that I've got from the generator. And then I save the time to be when I moved it, and it will do that for all three of them, and they're kind of all the same because it's doing it immediately. So it's doing servo 0, servo 1, servo 2 very, very quickly, so it may not be absolutely concurrent, but we can't tell the difference. Is there anything else that we need to see? No. Right, so I'm setting up one of them to go from 0 to 180 with a 10 degrees step. I'm setting up another one to go from 45 degrees to 135 with a 1 degree step, and then another one is moving from 0 to 90 with 1 degree step. So fingers crossed. Right, that one is going quite fast because it's in big steps, and it's going from 0 to 180. This one is going a little far, it's going faster than that one. This one is going from is it 35 to 145, and then this one is going very, very slowly. Can't really see it. It's going very, very, very slowly, and that's going from 0 to 90. So it all appears to be working. So if I did code control C, I haven't reset all the things to 0 or 180 or whatever. I couldn't be bothered. Right. The last program is combining them. So I've got everything with the sweeping, everything with the setup servo, everything with the potentiometers, and I've just set up 2 of the servos to sweep. One is doing it a step of 10 from 0 to 180. One is doing it from 0 to 90 with a little step, and then it says current time, and I'm doing that. Hello, is it time to move? Hello, time to move for servo 1, for servo 2, and then for the other one, I'm moving with the potentiometer. So keep your fingers crossed. Well, those 2 are moving. Oh no, that one didn't move. That was just the setup to make it go where it ought to go. Right, hopefully that one will move with the potentiometer. Yep. Right. Right. So slowly from 0 to 90, faster 0 to 180, and using the potentiometer. Now, if you could follow any of that, congratulations.